snap. Inside handoff to Trayvon McMillan. He's got a big hole, and there goes Trayvon. It is a foot race, and I don't think they're going to get him. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! 75 yards! A 75-yard touchdown in the first half of the third quarter by Trayvon McMillan, made it 31-3, and everybody was just feeling the love in Boulder, Colorado, and then it all fell apart as the Buffs cough up a 28-point lead, losing overtime 41-34 to the Oregon State Beavers. Welcome into the Buffalo Stampede. Not an easy one this week. I'm Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, Coach Gary Barnett. Well, that one hurts in many respects. Colorado got out big in this one and could not hold on. When momentum got turned, Gary, and we were talking about it on the radio broadcast, it got away from them and they couldn't regain it.
Yeah, well, that's usually what happens, Mark. It feels like you're in a drain and you're just going down the drain hole like this and there's nothing to grab onto. And that we could see it coming, and it's human nature. You know, they let up, the game was over, the students left. You know, it's just the way it goes, and you have to fight it so hard to keep going and keep going and keep going. And, you know, it's lessons, it's games like this that will teach them a lesson. I hope it's not too late, but it's a valuable lesson. And, you know, at the same time, it's a great opportunity for Mike. It doesn't feel like a great opportunity for him, but this is his greatest chance to lead. When it's easy to lead when you're 5-0. It's hard to lead when you're 5-3 and just lost the way you did. So you got to be magnificent as you lead this team.
You look at the box score. The Buffs had over 500 yards of offense. They won the turnover battle. They got 6 sacks in this ball game, but there are numbers in between there that don't look good. The third down numbers are off in this ball game, and that secondary continues to be a problem.
Well, third down for us was 4 for 15, and we said the keys to the game were to convert third downs. The other thing, 28 first downs for Oregon. Good grief. How do you give them 28, 345 yards of passing? So it's when that happens, that's never a good combination. And so you can just look at that and see how it happened. And then the mental piece of it was just taking your foot off the gas and not realizing, being a young guy and not realizing that every play counts and it's not over till that whistle blows at the end.
That's right. And when it blew, it was a loss for the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, being homecoming, a lot of alums were back, including a very good Buffs linebacker from a few years ago, Derek Webb, and we caught up with him here at Folsom Field.
Homecoming is why I came back. I try to at least come back once a year just to see familiar faces and be with my brothers. This year was just really special because CU's been using my music to support me in those kind of ways, and so it was really a good time for me to come back and be able to embrace everything that's going on right now. And those are my brothers. You see 3 different classes represented, I believe, in that picture, and so those are my younger brothers. It means a lot. Colorado has a rich tradition. You can tell each and every one of us, we like to come back and support these young guys, and it's just great to see the program just really flourish into what it's become today. See, I really miss it. I really do. It's a beautiful place to be. The people here, the coaching staff, different people who are instrumental in Colorado being what it is today. It's just good to be around them. It's always a pleasure to be with family. And that's what it feels like. It's a family environment each and every time I'm here. It's super cool to watch them from the sideline. The heats are harder, it's louder, it's very intense, and so I mean, I'm enjoying every aspect of it. You know, I love being a fan. I love seeing these boys go out here and make plays, and it gives me flashbacks to when I was out on this field. So it's a great time, man. I love coming back. Go Buffs.
Well, good to catch up with Derek Webb. A lot of alums were back. Had a chance to say hi to a lot of Gary's former players are back here. Buffs fall, though. A tough day here at Folsom Field. 41-34, Buffs fall in overtime. I mentioned the secondary before we heard from Derek Webb there. This is 3 weeks in a row now. We've seen those corners getting beat. This is a problem for Colorado because I guarantee you, Arizona, Washington State, Utah, Cal, they're all looking at it.
Well, and there's not much you can do. I mean, they're your guys, and you know, all they can do is get better. You can try to disguise them, help them a little bit, change the alignment every once in a while, bring more pressure. But every time you bring pressure, you put them on an island, and so it's our warts. And we're going to have to live with it. Everybody's going to see them. They've seen it now. And so you just got to assume you know what they're going to try to do to you from this point on. So you got to, from a coaching standpoint, you really have to work hard to find a way to protect that. The other side is, you know, if offense takes care of business a little better, you outscore people. And sometimes you have to do that. And that may be what this team has to do. But I don't see it happening until LaVisca gets back, because right now we're just not putting up those numbers.
Yeah, he's probably a week or so away. Buffalo's outside of that long touchdown we saw a moment ago. Only had a field goal after that in this ballgame. All right, short week, so have to think about it a long time. They got to get focused on Arizona, make sure this doesn't continue.
Well, I think it's the best thing that can happen to them is that one less day that you have to think about and hear about it, because that's going to be the worst part, you know. And we think we feel bad, but they feel really bad, and they got to hear about it from everybody, every way. Social media, newspapers, radios, interviews, they're going to hear about it. And so, you know, take one day out of it. Let me just, I can live for 6 days. So I think it's a good thing that they got a short week. And, you know, they have to regroup in there. And I think they're splintered right now. And that's a real challenge for the coaches.
Yeah, this undoubtedly makes things tough in the locker room for the Colorado Buffaloes. That's a Friday night game, don't forget, down in Tucson. 8:30 is when they'll kick that one off Mountain Time. Gary and I and Bobby Passavento on the Colorado Football Network hit the air at 6:30 with the Buffalo Stampede pregame show. But a tough one, 41-34 in overtime. The Buffaloes surrender a 28-point lead and fall here on homecoming to the Beavers of Oregon State. Coming up next, a guy who had a great game. He had 13 receptions, 198 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was doing it all. Katie Nixon joins us next here in the Stampede. Tez takes the shotgun snap, dropping, rearing back. He'll loft this one down the left side. Katie Nixon, end zone. Does he hold on? Yes. Touchdown. Touchdown, Colorado. Over the left shoulder. Tez, this snap. He's going to roll the pocket right, throw it out there wide open at the one, turning end zone. Katie Nixon, touchdown. Touchdown, Colorado. Well, it wasn't quite enough, but he had himself a big day. 2 touchdown receptions. And the Buffs lost to Oregon State for homecoming. Back into Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Katie Nixon, 13 catches, 198 yards. It was a busy day for you out there.
Yes, sir. It was, you know, it was a blessing getting out there, getting my feet wet, connecting with Montez, you know, but at the end of the day, I got to make a bigger step and, you know, contribute to the team more.
Yeah, I would suppose that's when you come out of a game like that. You had big numbers in a contest, but it comes in a loss, so it has a little bit of kind of a hollow feeling, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. You know, I'm a team guy. You know, I was blessed to be in that position, get the ball, you know, but at the end of the day, I don't like losing. So I got to look back at the film, you know, correct my mistakes. You know, I felt like I didn't step up to the bigger plate. So, you know, this week is going to be a hell of a week.
You know, there are different kinds of losses you come out of. Some of you come out and go, wow, we didn't play well enough to win in many respects. This one, you come out of it thinking, well, we were up by 28 points.
Yes, sir.
How do you look back on this game?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I came out too relaxed second half. You know, I feel like I'm the leader on that offense team, so I should have brought more energy, brought more, you know, big plays. So I just feel like coming down from that loss is all on me, so I just want to take the blame for that.
Well, I appreciate you taking responsibility. A lot of other guys out there. Could you feel a change kind of in demeanor from first half to second half?
Oh, yeah, so, you know, I feel like I said again, I came out flat. You know, yeah. I didn't make a big play to get the spark of the offense. You know, that's how I was raised, and that's how I feel about myself. I'm a big playmaker, so I just feel like second half I should have, you know, attacked way more. You know, came out way more aggressive than like I did the first half.
We got to ask you about one play you had late in the contest. You had a one-handed grab along these sidelines. It was a little Odell Beckham Jr.-like out there. Kind of take us through that play.
I want to take y'all back to last week because when we was on the bus, I had told Tyler and KB that I was going to one-hand the ball like Odell because that's my role model.
Right.
And then so when I got the opportunity, I just felt like it was too far, but on film it looked like it was right in my face.
Yeah.
So when I just reached back, I just felt like the whole grip just fall right in my hands, and I should have stayed up and took it to the crib, you know, to make a big play, but that's one play that I wish I can get back.
Yeah, that's not something you can plan on doing, but when it happens, it was spectacular to watch him do that. You know, we saw Bryce Bobo do that a couple of times the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah, you know, Bryce Bobo is one hell of a player. You know, he did it like it was random, so I know he probably like laughing at me right now.
Well, that was a good game by Katie Nixon. Buffalo's fallen homecoming game, 41-34 in overtime. You know, one of the unheralded set of heroes around this Colorado football team is the guys in the equipment truck. And what they had to do the last couple of weeks, being on the road against L.A. and then the following game up in Seattle, really was amazing. And we joined them on that trip.
This trip to California, USC, then turning right around and heading to Washington very next week. 2 very long trips back to back. Hopefully we get out of here before the weather really sets in. It is long. With the crews that we have put together for both these trips, it gets done in record time.
Typically, we'll show up on Wednesday afternoon about 4 o'clock, and we'll load up all of the equipment, all of the football stuff that's heading to both the stadium and to the hotel. And then there's always 2 of us drivers, and we'll go straight through. It makes me long for the days of the Big 12, but these trips to the Pac-12, they, of course, tend to be greater distance. Yeah, that was tough. I mean, the weather coming home for those guys Sunday was pretty rough. They had to go around through Albuquerque just to avoid the weather. Avoid putting chains on an 18-wheeler. To go out to LA and then get back Sunday night, unload Monday morning, and then turn around and reload Wednesday to come up here to Seattle, it is kind of grueling. It was 4.5 days to LA, and 5 days here. Quite a bit of traveling. It was 1,200 miles out to LA and 1,300 miles up here, so it's quite a bit of driving. I've done this since 2010. It's just an honor to work for the University of Colorado and to be part of the team behind the scenes, getting the equipment there. You know, it's hard to play a football game without the equipment.
Really is amazing what those guys do behind the scenes to make sure that these guys look as good as they do and are prepared to be on the playing surface. Buffaloes have a Friday night, a short week this week, down in Tucson to take on Arizona. All right, coming off a tough loss like that, 41-34 in overtime, losing to Oregon State. What happens this week? You got a short period of time, and you got to get this thing turned around quickly, don't you?
Yes, sir. You know, having a short week, you know, it just brings more intense to the, to the practice. You know, we had a great player meeting this morning. We had a good practice. I feel like we had a physical practice. So I think that, you know, we ready to bounce back and show the world.
You know, I don't want you to give any secrets, but when players get together and have a meeting under those circumstances, I'd imagine they get pretty intense.
Yes, sir. You know, it get more intense because we realize it's our team. You know, the coaches can call the plays, but at the end of the day, we out there playing between the lines. So once we had that meeting, we realized, hey, we can still, you know, win Pac-12. You know, that's our goal. So these goal games, we got to take real seriously.
How about a guy like you? You're a sophomore, so
yes,
you're an underclassman. So can you step up and speak in those meetings, or is it mainly older guys?
Oh, no. You know, anybody that want to speak and, you know, just say they touch, and because everybody has a voice. That's one thing I like about this team, because everybody is welcome to, you know, say they part and how they feel. You know, that's basically what this meeting was about. You know, and I feel like it really played a good part, because we came out here like, okay, we got this loss, but we can bounce back. That's what we're ready to do.
I like it. And I tell you what, you still got plenty of football left to play.
Yes, sir.
Go get a win on Friday.
Got you.
All right. That's Katie Nixon, receiver for the Colorado Buffaloes. They're at Arizona on Friday night. Coming up next, second year in a row, Danny Jones is the Pac-12 Conference cross-country champion. We'll talk to her next.
And in the finishing stretch was Jessica Hull of Oregon being passed by Danny Jones. Hull trying to hang on. The reigning 1,500-meter NCAA champion just couldn't make it happen, and Danny Jones repeats successfully.
Well, it was a sprint to the finish, but for the second year in a row, Danny Jones is the Pac-12 women's cross-country champion. Back in the Stampede, voice of the bus, Mark Johnson, Danny Jones. It was quite a sprint to the finish here. I mean, you guys were nip and tuck there for a moment.
Yeah, she's a very impressive 1,500 runner, so I was thinking that the whole way through.
Yeah, never any doubt, though.
There was some slight doubt, but I was thinking about you guys coming into this shoot.
When you're coming down the stretch like that, and obviously you're tired by that point in time.
Yeah.
Did you know there was going to be a kick? Did you figure were you running with her the whole race, or much of it?
Yeah, I could definitely sense that she wasn't that tired, and I know of her 1,500 achievements, so the whole last stretch I was thinking I need to save something for the last 50.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're game planning while the race is unfolding.
Yeah, while the race is unfolding.
Are you known to have a great kick at the end of the race?
Yeah, I think since my sophomore year I got a bit of a reputation now, but yeah, hopefully I can keep the momentum and continue to have that reputation.
When we sit here and talk about the fact you've won 2 consecutive Pac-12 championships, what do you think?
It's really special. It's something that I didn't think I'd be able to accomplish one time. And you know, I was really pumped when I crossed the line last year, and this year when I crossed, there was a lot of relief, because it's something that I really wanted to achieve. But especially for the team, I knew that that was something I had to do in order for our team to do well.
Do you know well before a race whether it's going to be a good day for you or not?
No, that's the thing. You start running and it could really unfold very dramatically depending on the day, but luckily for me, it was a good day.
Because, you know, there have been pitchers who have, come out and said, they were terrible while they were warming up, and they went out and threw a no-hitter. So you've had those days where it doesn't necessarily dictate to your performance.
Yeah, not necessarily. It's really, you can go in with thinking one thing and it could be different, a whole different story on the line. So.
Well, it worked out very well for the second year in a row. She is the Pac-12 Conference cross-country champion. Now getting ready for the Mountain Regions. We'll talk more about that in a moment. You know, last weekend here at CU, it was homecoming. Athletes coming back, and Ralphie handlers were back as well, and we caught up with a number of them at Folsom Field.
Everybody's back from homecoming, and it's pretty great just seeing all the old handlers and people that we've run with previously or people that we've learned from previously. Seeing all the different people that have run with the different Ralphies and seeing the evolution of the program and how different people have run with her differently and seeing how everything has changed from 1967 to now. Being back here means a lot. Having this relationship with Ralphie has been incredible, and just being able to see her and brings back so many memories, and being able to reconnect with everyone has been so special. Being a Ralphie handler has meant so much. It's become such a big part of my identity, and just being part of such a special tradition that has carried on so well and been such a signature event as part of the pre-game tradition has been really great, and something that I'll carry throughout my entire life.
From one great runner to another. Ralphie to Danny Jones. Not that I'm making any comparisons. Would you like to get out there and run with Ralphie sometime?
That would be pretty sweet. I don't think I could keep up, but it'd be quite an experience.
It's always the handlers, they're like rags hanging off behind you, just kind of flapping in the breeze. But, good to catch up with the alums on homecoming. All right, getting ready for the Mountain Regionals now. A little thought on that race coming up in Provo, Utah.
Yeah, Mountain Region is all business, so we're just trying to get to nationals. You know, we got some girls fighting for positions because only 7 can run at nationals. But other than that, it's going to be very businesslike, and we'll see how it goes for us.
You know, last week the women finished second in the Pac-12 championships. Come out feeling disappointed in that? I mean, it is second place, but how do you guys feel as a team?
Yeah, definitely a huge disappointment for us. But, you know, we've never gone into nationals with a chip on our shoulder like that, and I think a disappointment will only do us good. I think nationals is our main goal, and it doesn't change our goals for November, especially.
You haven't run on this course in Provo, Utah, where the Mountain Region's coming up. What does that mean before a race?
So we'll go to the course beforehand, and we'll review it and see what we like and don't like about it. But yeah, mostly looking at positions, making sure we're managing the course well.
All right. You know, we're going to have Kennedy Leonard coming up next year on the program. A very good basketball player.
Yeah, okay. I'd say.
Did you ever play basketball?
I did not.
If you played her one-on-one in basketball, and then she came out and ran against you, who would beat the other more handily?
Not Kennedy. She would beat me hands down. She does way more running in her sport than I do playing basketball in mine, so she would beat me hands down. Yeah.
That's an interesting question. Are runners great athletes?
Ooh. Depends on what cross-country runner you pick out of the pile. I'd say we have a reputation for not being great athletes.
Because not all runners, of course, are athletic, but they can run very well. It's a unique skill.
Different kind of athlete, yeah.
Right. Well, I know that you're a great runner. Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, Danny Jones joining us from the CU cross-country team as they get ready for that meet coming up in Provo, Utah. Up next, the aforementioned Kennedy Leonard joins us here in the Stampede.
Colorado, Brecka's on the run, finds Leonard. Leonard crossover, goes in, reverse layup, scored. That's 1,001 career points there for Kennedy Leonard.
Kennedy Leonard went over 1,000 points in her career at Colorado. She is the 30th player in CU history to score over 1,000 points in just 69 career games played. She is the 5th fastest in school history to reach that milestone. Congratulations, Kennedy Leonard.
That was the 1,000th point in Kennedy Leonard's career last year over the Thanksgiving holiday against George Mason. Back here on the Buffalo Stampede, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Kennedy Leonard, only appropriate. We've got her here. Boy, the season's almost here. Huh? Got to be getting excited.
I am. It's so close. I think that I'm most excited, though, to just finally play somebody who isn't us. We keep playing us in practice, and I mean, I love my teammates, but seeing them every day, you know, across from me, I'd like to see somebody else every once in a while. So
one of the reasons I love having her on is, you know, a student of the game. So give me an analysis. What has this team done over the course of the few weeks of practice you've had?
Yeah, I mean, we've conditioned, we've ran offense, we've done defense. We've pretty much done everything that you could possibly do in the span of 3 weeks, So every day we've had practice. We've had a couple off days, stuff like that, gotten in the weight room, hung out off the court. So basically anything that you can get done, we try to get done, and hopefully it shows.
And as a future coach, what's your analysis of what you've seen?
I'm impressed. We got a lot of young kids, and we have a lot of old kids, and we have a good mix. So I don't want to give too much away, but I think we'll be all right.
What's different about you this season in your final year here?
I'm older. So I had a birthday. I just had a birthday.
Terribly old.
Yeah, I feel it every day in my legs. But
the shirt I'm wearing is older than you, for goodness sake.
Yeah, no, but I am. I'm a little older. I'm a little more experienced. Me and Lex are now seniors, so we've kind of been through it and seen everything in our 3 years. So to finally be, top the totem pole and be able to help those younger than us and those aspiring to, be in our positions one day, I think is kind of what's getting me, pumped up and excited.
Are you a better player today than you were a year ago?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the gym, so I hope that all those hours will pay off. And I think, with the coaching that I've had and the interactions that I've had with my teammates and in practices and stuff like that, that it'll be able to show.
I know you and I talked here a few weeks ago about the time that practice was getting underway, and you said that one thing you focused on, not only your game, obviously being in the gym, but trying to be a better leader this year. What did you try and do to maybe improve there?
Yeah, obviously it's on the court as well, but I think more so off the court, just trying to get to know my teammates as people, what they love, who they love, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, their family, everything like that. I think I try to get to know that a little more and get to know them a little deeper so that my care for them and trust in them, or their trust in me, shows a little more on the court.
Speaking of getting to know people, just a short time ago, Kennedy and her teammates had a chance to get to know fans and vice versa. We had a women's basketball one-on-one.
I think one little fun fact you may already know about Maya is she really likes to dance. Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we make her show us some moves up here?
Wow, we have a guinea pig. His name is Marshmallow Peanut Butter Chocolate Chip.
Q, I would like to know what your favorite part of Italy was.
As it relates to basketball.
As it relates to basketball. She's keeping me on script.
She said everybody calls her Peanut, her coaches, her roommates, her friends, and you can all call her Peanut also. Yes, go ahead.
You've had 4 years here at CU. What has that experience meant to you?
Yeah, so I'm old now. I'm 22. I feel it every day in my knees.
So what is a personal fact about yourself that most people wouldn't necessarily guess?
Well, I think most of the team probably knows at this point, but I did woodworking before coming here.
I think when you've had an opportunity to listen to these young women speak and the people on campus that accompanied them on stage, I think you realize pretty quickly we have a really remarkable group of young women in our basketball program.
Nice opportunity for the fans to get to know Kennedy and her teammates. It's always kind of fun to get a little one-on-one interaction like that.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really get to see us off the court or outside of our uniform, so we all get to kind of dress up a little bit, put on some makeup and talk about ourselves off the court, so that's always a fun time.
Getting ready for this season, we talked about what you did individually, but as a team, you guys were in Italy. How was that trip, and what do you think you took away from
Yeah, it was awesome. We spent 10 days in Italy. We went to Florence, Rome, Venice, and Lake Como, so 4 different places in Italy, and we played 3 different games. We won them all, so that was a good sign. Everybody got to play, a substantial amount of minutes too, because it's not Pac-12 play or anything like that. So we saw sites, we did tours, we got to hang out with each other, we ate pregame meals together. So before season even starts, you kind of get a little taste of what it's like. So I think it was really fun and really good for us to spend time together, but also to spend time together in a place that we would never experience without, Colorado and Colorado basketball.
Yeah, there is a little bit of bonding. Every coach I've ever talked to has taken a team overseas. There's a bonding effect that comes out of that, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, you got to spend 12 hours on planes with people, boat rides, bus rides, everything like that, hotel rooms. Each stop on the trip, you stayed with a new person. Who's on your team who you don't really maybe spend that much time with. So I think to be able to spend time with people in a capacity like that, in an environment like that, will help us a lot as season progresses and we get into the thick of things.
By the way, by the time this show comes out, you're just going to be just a couple of days away from having the season opener. Northern Colorado, by the way, November 6th, right here at the CU Event Center. Pretty good challenge, regional school right out of the blocks.
Yeah, it's always fun to play somebody who's from Colorado as well. So I played them, I think, each of my last 3 years, and it's always a fun experience. It's your first game, the jitters, everything like that. Exhibitions are fun, but it's your first legit game. So I think that we got to do some scout and film on them and get prepared for that game.
Trying to savor a little bit of this in your last season?
Yeah, I know I am. It's a little scary. I'm getting nervous. I have friends who play soccer, and they're all about to end their season and they're seniors, and they just keep telling me, enjoy every moment of it, savor every moment of it. So no matter what we're doing, we're running, we're doing something on the court. It might suck, but I'm trying to enjoy it all.
The self-described old guard for the CU Buffaloes, Kennedy Leonard, joining us here at the Stampede as we put a wrap on the show for this week. We'll talk to you next week.